Hello everyone! Today we will visit the administrative center of the Zakarpattia region, a city on the Uzh River, which is located about 800 kilometers west of Kyiv. This city, at the foot of the Carpathian Mountains, is the smallest regional center of the country, but it has a long and rich history. So, welcome to Uzhhorod! Uzhhorod, previously and historically known as Uzhgorod, is a city located in western Ukraine, at the border with Slovakia and near the border with Hungary. Uzhhorod is a city with a unique atmosphere that can't be found in any other city in Ukraine. It is literally at the border with Slovakia and not too far from Hungary. Actually, Poland and Romania aren't too far away either. Due to the proximity of so many countries, Uzhhorod has a unique flavor, and it is surrounded on all sides by forests. The river Uzh goes through the city. A significant part of the city is located on the right bank part. The banks of the Uzh River are connected by 7 bridges, 6 pedestrian transport, and 1 railway. First traces in this area date back to the 12th century BC. Numerous tribes have been living here until the Slavic settlement was founded in the 8th century. A lot of tribes and peoples passed through the territory of the present city. The Huns, Avars, Burgundy Dacians, Celts, Sarmatians. Uzhhorod is a city with a large number of attractions. This also includes mini sculptures that fill the city. Each mini sculpture is directly or indirectly connected to Uzhhorod. They are all concentrated in interesting places of the city. For example, this one is a monument to St. Nicholas Assistant. This is a soldier Shveik mini sculpture. This is a sculpture to a famous Austrian composer, Mozart. I like his works, and I can play some of them on the piano. This is the Cross Exaltation Cathedral. The splendid Rococo facade of the Cross Exaltation Cathedral is as equally impressive as the Baroque paintings that adorn the inside. The highlights of the cathedral and the adjoining bishop's residence are the 2 bells. The left one weighs 1 ton, and the right is 3 times bigger. These features together make it one of the most attractive sites in the city. Within the construction's architecture, you'll find the 18th century decorations, complete with light tones and ornate details. The synagogue was made when the city was under the rule of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. It was made in the neo-Moorish architecture style. However, in 1944, after the destruction of the Thanscarpathian Jews, the fate of the synagogue changed. It became the Thanscarpathian Regional Philharmonic. Pink marble, red ceramic tiles, and small towers brightly stand out from the overall architectural style of Uzhgorod. Upon visiting the former synagogue, you will not only enjoy the beautiful architecture, but also see one of the best organs in Ukraine. The Cathedral of Christ the Savior is the principal Orthodox church in Thanscarpathia. It dominates the Cyril and Methodius Square in the Uzhhorod city. The 60-meter-tall, five-domed church was built in the 1990s, after the Cathedral of the Holy Cross had been restituted to the Greek Catholic Eparchy of Mukachevo. The modern building can hold up to 5,000 worshippers. As it's pretty cold outside, let's go and take some hot coffee. This is a lamplighter statue. They can hardly be called art, but people love those kind of statues because tourists can interact with them and make cool pictures. It's an interesting statue because it is clinging to a lamp street and at the foot has a suitcase. Korsa Street is the main cobbled pedestrian street in the center of Uzhhorod. That's where you should head first when visiting the city, to feel the vibe of this place. In translation from Italian, Korsa means a place for walking. Today, this is a favorite place for walking of locals and visitors of Uzhhorod, with a lot of cafes, restaurants, shops, monuments, restored old houses. From Korsa, it's a little uphill walk to one of the biggest Uzhhorod attractions, the castle. You should not forget to visit Uzhhorod Castle and the open-air museum next to it. It is one of the best preserved medieval fortifications on the territory of Ukraine. In its current form, the castle was rebuilt after 1322, though the first mention of the castle dates back to the 10th century. The medieval castle, standing on the hill in the Uzh River Valley, is ancient Uzhgorod's historical heart and its major site. Despite its age, it is perfectly preserved and is reckoned among the most famous and frequently visited castles in Ukraine. The stone castle appeared on the Zakarpattia hills in the 13th century. It was built on the place of the more ancient wooden church. Today, the building hosts the Zakarpattia Lore Museum. Just 12 kilometers away from Uzhgorod, the capital of Zakarpattia, you can see a picturesque Nevytsky Castle, first mentioned in the 14th century. Despite the destruction, the castle still looks exactly like a castle. Nevytsky Castle is famous for numerous mysterious legends. One of them is very romantic. The locals often say that the name of castle, Nevytsky, comes from the word nevesta, bride, because in the old times, families hid the young girls behind the powerful castle's walls before the time of their marriage. Still, many newly wedded couples come to the castle on their wedding day to make their marriage stronger. This is a great place to enjoy magnificent view, special atmosphere, to feel the breath of history and to take amazing pictures. In Uzhhorod, there are many interesting places where you can dine out, where you can taste the food of different nationalities, especially the Thanscarpathian region. Another place not to miss is the longest linden tree alley in Europe. It was planted in 1928 and spreads over 2 kilometers along the Uzh River. In late April, early May, hundreds of sakura trees blossom in the nearby streets, attracting thousands of tourists. Sakura is recognized as the site of Uzhhorod. Due to the fact that different linden tree varieties grow here, the alley blooms all spring and summer long. For many, Linden Alley is a place of power. There are many benches between the trees on the embankment, so it's the best place to just sit down and relax. Pedestrian bridge, a popular place for walking. There is such a belief that crossing this bridge for the first time from the new city to the old one, you should make a wish and it will certainly come true. Lovers like to hang locks with their names on the railing of the pedestrian bridge as tokens of loyalty and strength of their relations. Keys are thrown into the Uzh River. There are many different hotels in Uzhhorod or its suburbs where you can stay. I personally stayed in Hotel Rancho, Zolota Gora, where I performed some songs. Uzhhorod might not be big on monuments, but there are a few interesting sites worth seeing. But the main reason to visit the city is to enjoy its multicultural vibe, Central Europe at its finest. Uzhhorod also feels like a completely unique place. Even if it is Ukraine, it is so far from Kyiv or Lviv that it doesn't feel much like the rest of the country. So, welcome to Ukraine!